While gold is capturing the spotlight, silver is actually quietly experiencing one of the strongest rallies in years. Now, what began as a gradual climb has transformed into a historic surge fueled by strong investor demand, limited supply, and expanding industrial use. With silver still trading at a much lower entry point than gold, now is a great time to consider adding it as a defensive asset to your portfolio. And worth noting, since 2023, both gold and silver have more than doubled in price, which is a reflection of deepening global uncertainty. Inflation, rising debt, and weakening confidence in the US dollar have pushed investors towards safe haven physical assets. And gold may remain the anchor of wealth preservation, but silver is actually now gaining momentum as a faster moving alternative to gold. And silver's rally in 2025 has been remarkable by any measure. Prices have actually broken past $50 an ounce for the first time since 2011. And that price continues to trade above $48, which is the highest level in 14 years. And that represents about a 67% gain year to date. And gold has also been surging towards $4,000 an ounce. It's risen roughly 50% in that same time period. And yet silver continues to outpace it, closing that gap between the two metals. And the gold to silver ratio, which is really just how many ounces of silver it takes to buy 1 ounce of gold, that now sits nearly at 81. That's the lowest it's been in a year, and it's actually below its 5-year average, which is showing that silver is gaining strength relative to gold. And Federal Reserve policy has really just been a major driver of growth for metals. As the Fed moves deeper into its rate cutting cycle, assets that don't yield interest, such as gold and silver, become increasingly attractive. Now, historically, silver performs best in the latter half of these cycles. And during the past rounds of easing that we saw in the early 2000s, 2008, 2020, silver delivered triple-digit gains once those rate cuts resumed. Now, the weakening US dollar adds further fuel to this rally. When we see that the dollar is falling, commodities priced in dollars tend to rise. And then, of course, major buyers of gold and silver like China and India gain purchasing power. Now, that creates additional upward pressure on prices just as supply is struggling to keep up. And as trade policy has played a role here as well, the US government's decision to include silver on a draft list of critical minerals has prompted speculation about tariffs. In response to this, traders have shifted large amounts of silver into the United States this year. And in fact, roughly 80% of London's silver holdings are actually tied up in exchange-traded funds, and that leaves less and less available for immediate delivery. And silver also occupies this very rare position among precious metals because it serves as both a safe haven investment and a vital industrial material. It's indispensable for modern technologies, from solar energy and batteries to electronics and electric vehicles. And according to the Silver Institute's World Silver Survey, the solar sector alone is expected to consume more than 195 million ounces of silver just this year. That's one of the highest totals on record. And add on top of this the usage and need from robotics, AI, space race, and this ever-expanding industrial base, it's giving silver a very solid foundation of real-world demand. Even as prices rise, the growth of renewable energy and high-tech manufacturing continues to just absorb vast quantities of silver. Now, that broad utility really helps explain why silver's rally has endured and why analysts believe that this trend still has plenty of room to run. The combination of strong demand and limited supply has created conditions that many analysts describe as a potential silver squeeze. Now, investor inflows into silver-backed exchange-traded funds have remained strong for months, and inventories have actually continued to shrink. 2025 marks the 5th straight year that global silver demand has outpaced supply. And actually, the Silver Institute projects this to be one of the largest deficits on record, estimated at more than 100 million troy ounces this year. Now, with mine output and recycling unable to close that gap, available above-ground inventories of silver have just dwindled. And then we have high lease rates and rising premiums are indicating a very tightness in the physical market, where users are competing to secure limited metal. Now, if shortages persist, silver prices, of course, need to rise sharply to draw supply into circulation. Now, historically, these conditions have produced rapid moves upward as traders and investors race to obtain physical metals before prices climb higher. The market's current trajectory suggests that such a scenario may already be unfolding. Some short-term volatility, of course, is inevitable, especially as prices approach $50, but the long-term picture remains very favorable. Monetary easing, a weaker dollar, strong industrial growth, and tightening supply all point to continued strength. And analysts actually expect silver to remain in deficit for the foreseeable future, with investment demand providing an additional boost. Now, investor psychology, it's also contributing to this rally. In fact, for much of 2023 and early 2025, silver lagged gold's performance. But now, as gold has been approaching new record highs consistently, many see silver as the more affordable way to gain the benefits of precious metals. And the result of that has been a wave of renewed buying from both institutional and individual investors who view the current price levels as a long-term opportunity. And silver's rise really reflects a powerful alignment of economic forces. We have strong investment flows, solid industrial demand, and increasingly tight supply chain. And together, they have created one of the most dynamic precious metals markets in over a decade. And so if you're seeking protection from inflation and uncertainty, you want to diversify your portfolios, I'm Makai Block with American Hartford Gold. Give us a call today and we'll discuss how adding precious metals to your portfolio can give you the hedge that you need.
Discover how gold can help you protect yourself and your family. Call today or visit our website for more information at AmericanHartfordGold.com.